Now let us see toxoplasmosis, how it affects the brain. It is caused by Toxoplasma gondii. Its two forms are there, BT, like gondii, gond, and it's like bad trip, it's giving. So BT, bradyzoid and tachyzoid. Brady is slow and tachy is fast. So tachy is rapidly multiplying and brady is like latent and it causes latent. It is latent, that means it does not show up very quickly and it's in tissue cyst form. And the basic identification of the Toxoplasma gondii. Now its etymology, let us see first of all. Toxoplasma gondii etymology. Arc-shaped parasite of the gondii. Toxon means arc-shaped. Plasma is its shape. And gondii, that is Ctenodactylus gondii. It is North African rodent where parasite was first identified. Okay, rodent means it's like a rat and it was found in that. So Toxoplasma gondii, and how it looks is like this. It's like arc-shaped, curved. Okay. Now, what we were talking? So yeah, its definitive host is a cat where it does its sexual cycle and in the cat intestine. Now its infective stage for humans is the oocyst. It is got from the cat feces, and the tissue cyst we get it from the undercooked meat. Okay, oocyst and tissue cyst. Mode of transmission, most common route of infection is ingestion of the oocyst. Contaminated food and water. Now infection via undercooked meat contains bradyzoids. Those are the tissue cysts. And the congenital toxoplasmosis, it has classic triad. We must see this first of all. Tachyzoids, acute infection they cause. They reside in the vacuole, they are fast replicating, highly invasive, destructive for the tissue, and can be eliminated by drug treatment. Now its differentiation will occur and it will form bradyzoids. Chronic infection they cause. They reside in the tissue cysts. They are slow growing. They persist in the host and they are resistant to current drug treatments. And against reactivation, like stress release, it will form tachyzoids, and tachyzoids when they are used in stress, they will form bradyzoids. Now the congenital toxoplasmosis. The child will look like this. It will have hydrocephalus, chorioretinitis, and intracerebral calcification. See. Going from the head, that is cephalus. Then in the chorion, that is chorioretinitis. And then in the cerebral, only there is calcification. So yeah, look at here. Chorioretinitis, then calcification spots we can see, and there is hydrocephalus. Infection risk highest when during late pregnancy. During early pregnancy, there is low infection risk. And severity is highest when early pregnancy. This is a trap. Now let us imagine that there is early pregnancy. Even small amount of the infection is causing severe risk. Okay, but during late pregnancy, for the severity to occur, the severity is less, but infection is huge. Okay, more organism causes the disease. CNS disease. There is multiple ring enhancing lesions in AIDS patient. Where we see this toxoplasmosis. Multiple ring enhancing lesion. What is the meaning of ring enhancing lesion? Ring enhancing lesion. Look at this. So it's a lesion with central hypointensity and peripheral contrast enhancement. And so yeah, you can see here. And these lesions are seen in these toxoplasmosis, encephalitis, resolving hematoma, neoplastic, demyelination, neurocystic cirrhosis, infarct, radiation necrosis. In toxoplasmosis, we can see like this. Okay. Now, most common CNS opportunistic infection in AIDS is toxoplasmosis. Then talking about diagnosis, investigation of choice is serology, IgG antibody. Reactivation in AIDS shows IgG positive. Then its treatment drug of choice, yeah. It is pyrimethamine with sulfadiazine and folinic acid. Why folinic acid? Because it prevents the bone marrow toxicity. Which animal is reservoir? Cat is reservoir. Which stage crosses the placenta? Tachyzoid. Then which lesion in the brain? Ring enhancing lesion. And which disease mimics toxoplasma in AIDS? That is CNS lymphoma. So it's a differential diagnosis. Organism, host, forms, congenital triad, CCC, cerebral, intracerebral calcification, hydrocephalus, and chorioretinitis. AIDS lesion and treatment, pyrimethamine and sulfadiazine with folinic acid to prevent bone marrow toxicity. HIV patient with seizures, multiple ring lesions, and diagnosis is what? Toxoplasmosis. Pregnant woman exposed to cat feces. She's cleaning the cat feces, and then there is through oral route, she's consuming that tachyzoids, and then fetus at the risk of congenital toxoplasmosis. And the drug causing bone marrow suppression in toxoplasmosis therapy is pyrimethamine, which is prevented by giving folinic acid. Then toxo means cat, brain, and baby. Okay, we have to make this thing. Tried 3 hits. Okay. Now let's see what the book says about toxoplasmosis. It is now let's enter the intestine, bloodstream, then brain, and then fetus. Watch the toxoplasmosis gondii like a movie. So caused by toxoplasmosis gondii, it is obligate intracellular parasite. Cats are definitive host, and humans are the accidental host. It causes encephalitis in HIV patient and congenital triad. It causes in during pregnancy when it goes to the fetus. And the flock receives its entry by contaminated food, water, by oocysts, and undercooked meat has tissue cysts. And in the duodenum, what happens that this oocyst they release sporozoites, and then they invade the brain. They become tachyzoids. First of all, you have to understand there is this oocyst, then it becomes sporozoid, and then it becomes tachyzoid, fast form. Now it enters the macrophages and spreads via blood. Why it is entering macrophage? Because it is an obligate intracellular parasite. Then it will spread via blood to brain, eyes, and lymph nodes, and this is an acute phase. But then what happens? There is a brain survival mode. Why? Because now the tachyzoid has entered brain, and inside that tachyzoids will slow down, and they will become bradyzoids. And what we have seen tachyzoid to bradyzoid, it is stress-induced thing, and then it will form tissue cyst. Again, let us see that. What was the thing that we had seen? It was this. Tachyzoid becoming bradyzoid. Its differentiation will occur. It will reside in the tissue cyst and persist in the host, and it is resistant to the drug treatment, slowly grow, and it will cause chronic infection. So now the tachyzoid, it will slow down and it will become bradyzoid, then it will form tissue cysts. It will reside in the tissue cysts and it will stay hidden inside brain, muscle, eye, wherever it goes. This is a chronic phase. We know when it gets into the tissue, it will cause chronic infection, and that is latent infection, like hidden one. And this was acute one, where it was in the blood, it was fast form, it was entering macrophage, and then via macrophages, it was spreading via blood to all these things, and then it got into here, and it became slow, bloody and okay, that all thing. Then the reactivation will occur. Now imagine an HIV patient. His CD4 count is less, immunity is gone, and cysts rupture in them. So there is massive encephalitis, and it is the most common presentation in HIV. Now, if the patient is pregnant, then what will happen? The parasite, it will cross the placenta. Okay, through the blood, the parasite, it will cross the placenta. If mother gets infected, the parasite crosses placenta, and there is a classic triad in the fetus, that is hydrocephalus, chorioretinitis, and intracranial calcification. Okay, now the severity thing and the transmission. Okay, so the first trimester, that is early pregnancy, the severity is very severe, but transmission is low. Infection risk is low, but severity is very high. Death can occur. CNS effects will occur in the baby. In the second trimester of pregnancy, transmission is medium, but severity is moderate. And in the late phase of pregnancy, that is like 3 trimester into 3, that is around 9 months. Okay, transmission will be high. Infection risk is high, but the severity is low. So early less transmission but severe damage, and late more transmission but mild disease. Now the morphology of the Toxoplasma gondii. Toxoplasma, it means what? It is having arc-shaped, and gondii, that was it was first found in the rodent. Tachyzoid is acute form, crescent-shaped, rapid multiplication forms, rosettes inside the cells, inside which is macrophage. Brachyzoid is a chronic form. Inside the tissue cysts, it is residing, and it is slow growing. Oocyst. What is oocyst? It is from the cat feces, and it is infective to humans. Okay, but how did the cat get the Toxoplasma gondii? I don't know. I must see that. Cat, it is definitive host in which sexual cycle will occur. Oocysts will be formed in the feces, and humans, they eat the oocyst. How they will eat the oocyst? If particular cat, she is a pet, and if the owner, she cleans the feces of the cat, and then she can get infected, and then she eats the oocytes. That oocyte becomes tachyzoids, and tachyzoid spreads in the blood and goes to the target organ, and it becomes brachyzoid. It goes into the tissue cyst, and there is no sexual cycle now. Why? Because the humans are the dead end host. Pathogenesis, tachyzoids destroy the cells directly, cause inflammation and the vessel blockage. Cysts rupture, they release brachyzoids, and trigger immune reaction and tissue damage. And the clinical features that we can see are in immunocompetent people, they're mostly asymptomatic, and cervical lymphadenopathy. But in immunocompromised, we can see encephalitis, retinitis, and pneumonitis. Okay, and diagnosis by serology, we can see IgM in acute phase and IgG when the past infection of 7 weeks. Brain imaging, it will show multiple ring lesions. Classical tissue biopsy, we can see the cysts, and its treatment is pyrimethamine, sulfarizine, and folic acid. A cat throws oocysts in environment, you eat it, parasite becomes fast tachysoldier. Now it spreads, hides as sleeping cyst in the brain. When immunity drops, in HIV, it wakes up and attacks its brain. In HIV, it will cause the cyst will rupture, and it will cause massive encephalitis, and it will attack the brain. Why is tachyzoid responsible for acute disease? Because it is rapidly multiplicating, and it will destroy the cells directly. It will cause inflammation and vessel blockage. Explain why HIV patient with encephalitis in toxoplasmosis. It is because their immunity is low, their CD4 count is less. Then what will happen? The cysts, in the brain, they will rupture, and they will cause encephalitis. What happens when cyst ruptures? It will release brachyzoids. Then it will trigger the immune reaction, and the tissue damage will occur. What is congenital toxoplasmosis triad? That is intracerebral calcification, hydrocephalus, and hydrocephalus, intracerebral, and chorioretinitis. Why is first trimester infection more severe? Why? Because the transmission in the first is less, but it is more. Why? I don't know that answer. I'll mention in the comments. Now list 3 morphological forms and their roles. So they are the tachyzoids, brachyzoids, and the oocyst. The tachyzoids, they will be in the blood, they will replicate fast. The brachyzoids, they will be in the tissue cyst. They will slowly grow, and they will cause chronic infection by triggering immune reaction and tissue damage. And oocysts are in the cat's feces. They are the infective forms. And yeah. So Toxoplasmosis parasite is Toxoplasma gondii, and Toxoplasma gondii is it is also a protozoite, a single cellular parasite that causes encephalitis. Among all the 3 that we saw, first of all we saw NCC, it was a helminth. And the other 3, Pamgay and this Toxoplasmosis, all of them are protozoa. So yeah, Toxoplasma gondii form causing diseases, tachyzoid, rapidly multiplying, it hides in the blood, brain, lymph node, placenta. Then so wherever parasite goes, we take the specimen from there. Specimen, where is the parasite hiding? If blood, CSF, brain involvement, bowel, if it is hiding in the lung, then we go to bronchoalveolar lavage, we do a lymph node aspirate, we take biopsy of brain, liver, spleen, muscle, we take. So side depends on the clinical syndrome. Microscopy, crescent-shaped tachyzoids, we can see these. And on the genes are PAS stain and Echene stain. Special direct fluorescent antibody test we can do. Antibody, what will do? It will bind to the parasite, and it will glue. Then concept is we are not seeing the bacteria, we are seeing protozoa, intracellular. So it needs staining tricks. So the protozoa that we are seeing is intracellular protozoa, right? Intracellular obligate parasite. So it needs staining tricks. Okay. Histopath, now imagine brain tissue under microscope. What you can see is tachyzoids, tissue cyst, and around them there is necrosis and inflammation. Then multiple cysts near the necrotic lesion. That confirms the diagnosis. Grow culture in cell culture of mice. Now the risk is of lab-acquired infection and rarely done due to risk. So we don't do culture. Serology, now go to the bloodstream. Immune system is responded. So what happens that IgM antibodies in 1 to 2 weeks they will tell that the infection is recent. IgG in around 4 weeks they will appear, and they will tell that it was a past or ongoing infection. IgG avidity. What is avidity? Avidity is the binding strength. Avidity means it is extreme eagerness, enthusiasm, or consuming greed, often describing passionate interest in doing or having something. So it's like avidity is So my avidity for medical sciences and medicine and surgery is so much that the passionate interest in doing something. And in medical terms, avidity means is the binding strength between antibody and antigen. So avidity is the binding strength of antigen and antibody. So IgG avidity, that means this is an antibody. It will bind to the parasite. So its binding strength, it increases over time. So it can, so dividing this test, we can differentiate between old and new infection. IgE antibody when it appears during congenital infection. So that means whenever we do that test, and we can see the sensitivity. IgE when it appears during acute infection. So it is short-lived. That means it is short-lived. So tachyzoids rapidly multiplying, motile crescent stage of Toxoplasma gondii, responsible for acute infection, rapid dissemination, tissue destruction in intermediate host including humans. They measure this and invade almost any nucleated cell and replicate inside the parasitophorus vacuoles inside host cell until host cell dies and aiding the spread. Okay, so they make the cell die and then they spread. Okay, IgG avidity we saw. Then paired sera we know that 2 samples are taken at some interval and it shows what presence of IgG antibodies, 4-fold or greater increase in IgG. And first sample provides baseline while second convalescent. So okay, when convalescent we call those samples. Convalescent shows if immune system has responded to the pathogen over time. Now the IgG avidity. Now here we had seen the basic concept that it increases the strength binding capacity of the antigen and the antibody. It increases over time because IgG is increasing over time. Initially IgG is not present. It was found in the 4th week. So the binding of the IgG antibody and the antigen will increase slowly. So during recent infection, no avidity with IgG, but in old infection there will be high because there will be presence of IgG antibodies. And recent infection means less than 3 months, 12 weeks. So this is how you protect the fetus by differentiate timing. I don't understand, bro. What was this? So how to confirm take a paired sera 3 to 4 weeks apart, and if greater than So special scenarios: pregnant women, IgG and IgM. We can see IgG avidity. We can see in immunocompromised like HIV. We can see CTMRI encephalitis. What we can see there? We can see multiple ring-like lesions in the toxoplasmosis. Then IgG is high. IgE is useful in this condition. When does IgE increase in acute infection? I don't understand IgE. So think reactivation when it occurs, it will cause brain lesions. We had seen that reactivation. So there is acute phase, chronic phase, and chronic phase. What happens? Then there is a reactivation of the cyst because immunity is low. So in HIV patient, what we can see in HIV patient immunocompromised, we can see if it's reactivation will cause brain lesion and hence encephalitis. So immunocompetent patient, we can see IgM, IgG increase, IgA or IgE, and histopathy can do. Congenital toxoplasmosis is when fetus brain being attacked. So prenatal PCR of amniotic fluid we can do, and USG at 24 weeks and repeat every 2 to 4 weeks. Then newborn diagnosis, there is IgA after 10 days, IgM not called blood, then IgG greater than 1000. Imaging CTMRI, we can see multiple ring enhancing lesions, and X-ray we can see calcification. Then classic right hydrocephalus, chorioretinitis, and intracranial calcification. So when will the fetus get that the woman was pregnant, she was cleaning the cat's dirt, and then she got, and then it crossed the placenta, and there is the baby, and the baby is in the first week where there is severity is high. Now the baby got that, and the baby will have all these. Now the immunology, antibody story, IgM it comes first and persists 1 to 2 years. It's tricky. So IgM alone can't tell us about the recent infection. So IgG it comes later, it stays lifelong. That's why I use avidity instead of just presence. IgA best for congenital diagnosis. IgA is best for congenital diagnosis. I don't know, it's an antiseptic paint. Okay, I don't really get that, but still I'll see. IgE is short-lived and it indicates the recent infection. So yeah. And molecular test that we do, PCR test, the DNA PCR of the amniotic fluid that we do that is used in congenital and CNS toxoplasmosis immunocompromised. Sabin-Feldman test, dye test, SFD. Okay, Sabin-Feldman dye test. Then its mechanism, if antibody is present against that particular antigen, then the complement will destroy the parasite, and parasite will not take the stain. So whenever there is no stain, that means antibody is there and it has destroyed the parasite. So the test is positive. Because antibody is present. But when the test is negative, that means antibody is not there, and the parasite is still persisting, and the parasite has taken the stain. But it's limitation that we cannot differentiate between past and the recent infection. We can only see the presence. Now CSF findings: lymphocytes are more, protein is more, glucose is normal, just like encephalitis. Viral-like picture. Okay, aseptic viral meningitis picture we can see. Treatment pyrimethamine. So folate antagonist combo therapy. Because pyrimethamine, it is causing what? It is suppressing the bone marrow, but we don't want that. So we give the folinic acid. So we give folate antagonist. That is folinic acid we give. Prophylaxis: trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole, especially in HIV. Okay, whatever. Parasite toxin antibody hiding site cell immune system and sends IgM, IgG, brain lesion form. Doctor checks and antibodies, IVD, PCR, CT. Okay. And the question then, and the what? The patient will ask CTMRI करवाने को बोलते हैं, पैसा ज़्यादा लेते हैं, ठीक है. So IgG avidity paired sera rise congenital markers IgA. Why is IgG avidity preferred over IgM in pregnancy? Because IgG it will increase after the infection after 4 weeks approximately. Then but IgM it's like Turant part of that and it persists for months and years. So IgM is not very diagnostically correct. What is the significance of more than that fourfold, and why is IgM unreliable alone? What are CSF findings in toxoplasma encephalitis? There is multiple CSF findings. You can see just like this. The lymphocytosis is there, protein increase, glucose normal because it's the parasite it will take glucose. I think that's why. Sabin-Feldman test is that when it's a stain. Dye test is that and antibody if it is present then it is positive. If antibody is absent, the test is negative. Because when antibody is present, parasite is not present, and the parasite will take the stain. Now let us talk about trypanosomiasis. Let's quickly see trypanosomiasis. So there are 2 of them, African and American trypanosomiasis. Organism we can see here. So this is South America. Intracytoplasmic MST goats are seen. Yeah, so African and American trypanosomiasis. African is the sleeping sickness and American is the Chagas disease. Chagas disease, wait. So what is it? Chagas. So it's a Chagas disease, I can say. Be quick. So 2 forms. It's African is sleeping sickness and American is Chagas disease. So African is caused by Trypanosoma brucei gambians and Brucei rhodesians, so GR, and vector is the tsetse fly, and American is caused by Cruzi. So Cruzi in America, and vector is the kissing bug that is called as redouvid, and in Africa there are GR is there gambians and rhodians, and it is the tsetse fly. Identification of the disease: sleeping sickness is caused by gambians, and Chagas disease is caused by Chagas is the American trypanosomiasis and is caused by Cruzi. Vector of African is the tsetse fly, Gossaina, and vector of Chagas disease is the kissing bug, redouvid bug. And modes of transmission: parasite enters through the bite in African disease, that is the what? Sleeping sickness, and direct inoculation by tsetse fly. The tsetse fly will come, it will bite, and the parasite will enter the body, and direct inoculation. Parasite enters through feces of the vector. So vector here is the kissing bug and redouvid. No. In the Chagas disease, the parasite that is the kissing bug redouvid, it will enter through feces of the vector. Parasite, what is the parasite? It is Cruzi. So Cruzi, Trypanosoma cruzi, it will enter through feces of the kissing bug. That means the kissing bug, the redouvid bug, it will do potty, and in that potty, the parasite Cruzi will be there, and then it will, and whenever mode of infection. So Chagas disease will be caused. Clinical features of African trypanosomiasis is posterior cervical lymphadenopathy, Winterbottom sign. Posterior cervical lymphadenopathy, Winterbottom sign in the African one. So what is it? Clinical appearance: palpable enlarged, often painless lymph nodes located in posterior triangle of neck. So Winterbottom sign, lymph node trypanosomiasis. In West African trypanosomiasis, posterior cervical lymph node commonly involved and becomes soft, rubbery, non-tender, called as that. Yeah. Next thing we have to see is the what? Sleep disturbance. हेलो एग्जैक्ट 10 मिनट कॉल कर सॉरी अरे मजा बिजनेस वाला so sleep disturbance and coma will be in sleeping sickness obviously and Shiraz disease मध्ये काय दिसेल आपल्याला eyelid swelling दिसेल Romana sign so Romana is a person from America and she's affected by the cruise she was in a cruise the cruise infected her and through feces of the kissing bug and she kissed someone there and yeah stuff happened and she got the Shiraz disease and now her swollen eyelids and chronic complication is dilated cardiomyopathy and megacolon mega esophagus forms in body forming blood is trypomastigote and forming the tissue in the Shiraz is the amastigote what is amastigote trypomastigote we will see later but the Romana sign we will see first okay fine it's very palpable that is the inflammation is there, swelling is there. So yeah, where were we? Yeah. Now amastigote and trypomastigote. Amastigote. We'll see that later. Diagnosis is peripheral. Peripheral blood smear shows trypomastigotes and best test in chronic Shiraz is serology PCR. Okay, because maybe IgM antibodies, IgG antibody and PCR. Okay, treatment for African is early pentamidine suramine and when CNS involved melasroth, eflornithine and for Shiraz it is benzimidazole and nifurtimox. Okay. So first of all, the thing is that we have seen two things. Okay, yeah, fine. And there, so we have seen two diseases. There are two vectors. One is the tsetse fly, other is the bug, the kissing bug, red bug. Mode of transmission is by bite of the fly and feces of the bug, kissing bug. Then we saw the clinical features: sleeping disturbance, coma in sleeping sickness, and there is no as such in American in the Shiraz disease. There is no CNS involvement, I think. Okay, only African trypanosomiasis is important that causes sleeping sickness and coma, sleeping disturbance, and there is that Winterbottom sign. There is lymphadenopathy at posterior cervical. Okay, now in Shiraz disease, it was Winterbottom sign and in Shiraz it is Romana sign. Now the forms in the body that we saw in the blood of the trypanosoma, three species we saw: BF and the cruzi, the Brucei gambizi, Brucei rondins. What was that from? Yeah, Gambians, Brucei rodensians, and Trypanosoma cruzi. Okay. Now then we saw diagnosis PBS पे हमें trypomastigote दिखेंगे. Okay, fine. Which disease shows antigenic variation? African trypanosomes. It shows antigenic variation. Which causes cardiomyopathy? Shiraz disease. Which has lymphadenopathy? It is African Winterbottom sign. And which spreads by feces of insect? That is Shiraz. Now the vector, the NP, the key sign, target organ in African is the brain, in Shiraz it is heart. Tissue form. African trypomastigote and amastigote. Patient with sleep disturbance and lymphadenopathy. After travel to Africa, that is African cardiomyopathy history of insect bite near eye. And diagnosis is the Shiraz disease. Okay. Parasite showing antigenic variation helps evade immunity. Brucei. It shows antigenic variation, and because of that, it helps evade immunity. African sleep and American heart Shiraz. Now let's see what the book says about trypanosomiasis. So yeah, in rural Africa there is a tsetse fly bites and it injects the parasite into the blood. Parasite is the trypanosoma. It is a flagellated protozoa. Now the trypanosoma parasite rhodesians. It causes acute infection and the Brucei gambians it causes chronic both cause African sleeping sickness and the pathogens is white parasite enters the blood. Then blood and the lymph phase. So fever comes and goes. Parasitemia waves are there. Because it is a lymph phase, so there will be lymphadenopathy and the posterior cervical lymph nodes will be swollen and so yeah, it is Winterbottom sign is there and then immune escape. Parasite keeps changing surface antigens. There is antigenic variation and that helps to evade the immunity. So immune system attacks parasite changes the code and it escapes. Now new wave of infection comes. Yeah, so there is always persistent fever that comes and goes. So parasitemia waves are there because of antigenic variations. And then the step 4 is CNS invasion. Parasite crosses BBB. Now brain involvement will cause sleeping disturbance phase. Why sleep disturbance? Because the parasite damages the sleep wake centers in the brain. And what are the sleep wake systems in the brain centers? They are the hypothalamus. Then not hypothalamus exactly, but there is what that apna. Piece gland है कोई कौन था यार वो? Melatonin, pituitary gland, and one more there is pineal gland. Okay, sleep wake centers in the brain. 24-hour rhythm maintained by that. So yeah, daytime sleepiness occurs, night insomnia, mental deterioration. Diurnal rhythm maintained by bro, sorry. Pineal gland secreting melatonin. Suprachiasmatic. What's suprachiasmatic nucleus? So we are and in mental deterioration diagnosis, see the parasite diagnosis. We do by blood smear, lymph node aspirate and CSF. Microscopy sufficient to identify and treatment CNS involvement है तो pentamidine देंगे, suramine देंगे. After CNS before CNS involvement ये दोनों देंगे. After CNS involvement ये melarsoprol देंगे, eflornithine और clinical clue Winterbottom sign and large posterior cervical lymph nodes. Thank you. Bye bye.